to Phone Age News. I'm Nostradamus. In this episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the global climate, followed by a full methane report, and I'm going to end with lots of little odds and sods about the virus. This is a little snapshot I took on my phone the other day. It's an infrared image of Mount Etna, just as the sun was positioned directly above the crater. A smashing photo. Here's another snapshot of a volcano I took the other day. This time we're at Stromboli, as a big bird flies in front of the webcam. What sort of bird is that? It's not like any bird I've ever seen before. Weird. I want to begin proper by talking about the subject of global dimming. Now that the worldwide lockdown has curbed man's pollutants up into the stratosphere, and now the skies are nice and clear, and we've all heard the doomsayers saying that temperatures are going to rocket now that the skies are clear, myself included. But I want to go into it a little bit more detail, and draw your attention to the 1990 amendments to the Clean Air Act of 1970, which authorised programmes for acid deposition control and a programme to control 189 toxic pollutants, including those previously regulated by the National Emission Standards for Hazardous Air Pollutants. So basically, round about this time, late 80s, early 90s, lots of countries in the Western world cleaned up their act, basically, and sulfates especially, they put filters on the coal plants, and they stopped using the dirty brown coal, the dirtiest coal going, and the pollution was reduced quite a lot at that time. Yeah, it was also the time that they started to phase out the use of chemicals that deplete the ozone layer too. So, are there any signs yet of an increasing global average temperature due to global brightening? I'm here on Climate Reanalyzer, and let's have a look at today's weather maps. Two-meter temperature anomaly. As today, we're at half a degree above the 1979 to 2000 average. Now, normally this figure's hovers between 0.6 and 0.9. And a couple of days ago, this was down to as low as 0.2, which suggests that the Earth as a whole has cooled by as much as 0.3, 0.4 degrees centigrade in the last few weeks. Temperatures are not shooting up. Back on the home page of Climate Reanalyzer, and I want to take you down here to the monthly Reanalysis time series. And what this shows is the 2 meter temperature anomaly since 1948. We've got the 1979 to 2000 baseline. And as you can see, we've been going through quite a large spell of warming over the last couple of decades, and there's the El Nino year 2016. It's not got last year on it. It's not been updated yet. Dragging their heels a little bit, but I want to remember when they said there was a pause in global warming. I said, "Oh, global warming's not happening. It's not real." Remember when they said that? We've got 1990. The Clean Air Act came in. So we had a partial global brightening events around here. And what happened after that? The temperature plummeted. It didn't go up, it plummeted by almost 0.4 degrees C. So I think now we're getting rid of the global dimming, temperatures are not going to shoot up, but they're actually going to fall. So if indeed temperatures do start falling, it looks like they are starting to already, then this will be an explanation for the pause in global warming of the late 20th century. It's not been so chilly in Chile lately either. Especially down at the southern tip, near Punta's what's it? Here we are, Punta Arenas. This area here, it's been unusually warm and unusually wet here recently. The average temperature this time is about 10 degrees centigrade, and it's been up to 17 degrees centigrade some days. And they don't get a lot of rain down here, but they've been having about double the average amount of rain that they usually get. I'm not going to show you all that, but I have checked. It is true. This is the same area on Google Earth, and as you can see, the higher elevations, it's usually frozen all year round. Now, we're used to seeing methane bursts in and around the Arctic, but I've never seen one near the Antarctic before. And this is from a few days round about the 27th of April, 26th to the 28th. And this was on cams, showing quite a substantial methane burst. I took some screenshots to show you, to go through day by day. These are in 12-hour intervals. It went on for quite some time. This is at surface level. And into the 28th, before it started calming down. That's on the 29th, actually. That's the first time I've seen methane emissions in the southern hemisphere. So that brings me nicely on to my methane report. This is the NOAA methane graph for the past several years. I'm showing you this to highlight the fact that we have a winter peak, autumn-winter peak, followed by a little springtime peak. Autumn-winter peak, springtime peak each year. This is how it bounces along. Here on the NOAA website, they're comparing January this year to January last year, showing an increase of 8.5 parts per billion. I know it's supposed to be a methane report, but I may as well show you the carbon dioxide while I'm here. It's gone up almost 3 parts per million in the last 12 months. Right, let's get back to methane. I've not done a proper report for a while, mainly because the METOP 1 satellite didn't look as though it had good coverage. So I couldn't really trust the numbers properly. So I filled in my best guesstimates. Because this week's and last week's figures are based on proper data. So it was indeed falling at the rate it suggested, and basically I took the average of both satellites, morning and afternoon, 16 sets of data on the NOAA website, which I've shown you before, and I just take an average, and then I take an average of the averages, get a nice smooth line, and this is whoopsie-daisy, bear with, what am I doing? Here we go. And as you can see, we've had our autumn-winter peak, and we've had our springtime peak on the first week of April, and it's fallen quite dramatically since, much more than usual. Our summer peak was at 1850, springtime peak should say, was at 1853 parts per billion, and we compare that to 12 months ago, the springtime peak at the end of March was 1840 parts per billion. I work my measurements out differently to how NOAA does it. I've tried to find out how exactly they arrive at their figures. But it's the change in the figures that matters. So remember, it was 1840 last year, the peak, and this year 1853, which is almost 13 parts per billion higher. And they said it's 8.5. I haven't actually checked this, so I'm going to have a look now, because that was January figures, wasn't it? So let's take a middle of January. We was at 1843. Oh, hang on, I'm not going to have middle of January last year, am I? Because I didn't start taking readings till March, so I can't check on the January figures, but they should match up. That was 1st January this year. So they've been measuring when it's been low, but the highs have been much higher than the normal highs. But you can see clearly how much higher it is now than what it was at this time last year. This is 12 months ago, and this is the past few weeks. Much, much higher. This is based on an average of the whole atmosphere over all different levels. But I've decided to take a closer look higher up in the atmosphere. So this is the plot at 300 millibars, high up in the atmosphere where the methane rises up to. I've only started plotting this from June last year, when it was at its summer minimum. You can see how it's gone on for them. So it climbed up to its autumn winter peak, dropped down, and this is supposedly be its spring peak. But in the last couple of weeks, it started shooting up quite considerably, by as much as 19 parts per billion in 6 weeks. What is going on? So I decided to compare this week's figures with the figures from the same week exactly 12 months ago at each level in the atmosphere separately. And it's pretty unexpected and amazing. Let me show you. I collect my data every Sunday when the previous day's data is released. So I've got over 12 months now of atmospheric methane concentrations every Saturday for over 12 months. On May the 4th, 2019, my average concentration close to the surface at 931 millibars was 1,801. Now, 12 months later, on Saturday, May the 9th, it's slightly lower, 2 parts per billion. Slightly higher up in the atmosphere. Last year it was 1827, and now it's 1831, just up a slight 4 parts per billion. At 477 millibars, about halfway up. Last year it was 1862, but we've had quite a large increase, 14 parts per billion this year. But even higher up, at 300 millibars, last year it was 1858, and just yesterday it was 1879, a massive increase of 21 parts per billion. So it's staying pretty stable down near the surface, but we're getting massive increases in methane high up in the atmosphere. Something very strange is going on. I don't know whether this is linked to global brightening or not, clearer skies, less clouds, less pollution, less chance for water droplets to form clouds, more sunlight hitting the surface, causing more convection in the atmosphere. But I think this is something we should all be really concerned about. 21 parts per billion high up in the atmosphere in 12 months. Figures don't lie. And I'm not making these figures up. These are based on actual satellite measurements that are published by NOAA. I was having a flyby Google Earth as you do, and I noticed a little fire and heat anomaly round our here. So I decided to investigate. We are in Western Russia. Good place, Matt, so I could find that. Looks like we've got a little oil and gas installation over here. Drilling for something by the looks of it. But I was doing it on my phone, not here on my laptop. If you go on here and go on your street view, it's not very good. That's about all you get. On your phone, you press the little man, and it highlights places you can go and see some actual pictures. So I've got a few snapshots to show you from the installation. So here's a view of some of the rigs. They look like might still be under construction. Don't know why that looks like it's been chopped in half. Anybody can read Russian? They want to leave a comment below what that actually says. Tanks. Men at work. And when you're on your phone, they're all panoramic pictures. And I decided to look down at the floor on one, and this is what was there. I don't know what that means. And there's also lots of pictures of men in hazmat suits too. So I don't know what them pesky Russians are up to there. I've only just scratched the surface with them pictures, so if you want to go and have a mooch round yourself, we're at 67 degrees 50 minutes north, 80 degrees east. At 67 degrees 50 minutes north, 80 degrees east. Now it's over to the watchers for Doom News. Here's the latest headlines. Sonic Boom reported a daylight fireball explodes over Washington State, US. Powerful outburst from Comet Swan. Water restrictions announced in Auckland amid worsening drought in North Island, New Zealand. Violent storm hits Western Australia, leaving tens of thousands without power. Intense Arctic outbreak expected over much of Ontario, Canada, and parts of eastern US. Record cold, rare snow in May expected. Global study reveals declines in terrestrial, but increases in freshwater insect abundances. Unseasonal thunderstorms strike Israel. Asian giant hornet, murder hornet, found in the United States for the first time. Thousands flee as wildfire continues to rage in Florida Panhandle. Second and unprecedented wave of locust invasion expected to hit Pakistan. Torrential rains claim 16 lives, affect 200,000 across Somalia. Floods affect more than 200,000, displace 100,000 people in Ethiopia. Oh dear. They reckon across the Middle East there's going to be in excess of 1 trillion locusts. They're already bloody starving. And then there's this. 2020 isn't finished yet. Super termites are next. Super termites! We're still in the first half of 2020 and there's plenty more in store for us. Sure, we've dealt with COVID-19 and now murder hornets, although the praying mantis can save us from those. But what about super termites? In New Orleans, Formosan subterranean termites are swarming. I wish this was fiction, but it's not. The six-legged winged creatures have the largest population there of any city in the entire world, but they're not eating your home right away. They're arriving to move in. According to experts, there are more on the way. There's also been an invasion of the super termites down near Tampa Bay. The Formosan species of termites are tiny, but powerful enough to chew through steel and concrete. So prepare yourselves for super termites. They should be here any day, given how 2020 has gone so far. If nothing else, at least with all the adversity we're seeing this year, we'll be prepared when the sharks with laser beams attached to their heads that Dr. Evil ordered finally come to fruition. I love that guy's sense of humour. Let's have a little play of that.
It is a difficult time and life may mostly be on hold, but the good news is the termites have arrived on time. Just kidding, it's not good news at all. They're disgusting. But the first big swarm in the New Orleans area came last night, and fortunately, or well, unfortunately, let's be honest, there are still several weeks to go. Devin Bartolata has more.
Now back to the watchers. NEO page, near-Earth objects. Asteroid 2020 JJ flew past Earth at just 0.03 lunar distance on May the 4th, the closest of the year and 6th closest on record. Newly discovered asteroid designated 2020 JJ flew past Earth very close. This is the 40th known asteroid to fly by Earth since the start of the year and the 2nd of the month. Also the closest asteroid flyby since October 31st, 2019, and the 6th closest asteroid on record. The object has an estimated diameter between 2.7 and 6 meters. That's a fairly big chunk of rock. Let's watch it on this animation here. Wow. That was bloody close. Here it comes again. Woo-hoo-hoo. Nearly. Thought I'd take a closer look at JJ on the Sky Live site. Apparently this little bugger likes to come back every 12 years. Shows you where it is now in the sky if you want to try and find it with in a big telescope. Here we are. It's just missed us, and there's where it's going to be. Look at that in 2094, isn't it? Let's zoom in on that. It's touching the line. Where are we? Oh, there we go. Closer look at that. Oh, how close does it get? A bit too close, that. Mate, where are we? May the 5th, 2094. 0.00512 astronomical units. Don't worry. I don't think your grandkids have got anything to worry about. It's only about 5 meters in diameter anyway. Unless it lands on their house. Well, while half the world's starving to death, there's mountains of food, namely potatoes, going to waste in the United States and Europe. Mountain of spuds discarded by Idaho farmers saved in potato rescue. Or one of these soft lefty groups must have formed a petition. Let's save the potato. Hashtag potatoes matter too. Amid lockdowns and stay-at-home orders, businesses and industries are suffering from COVID-19, and potato farmers are no exception. I just want to show you the pictures. Got them rotting potatoes. That's in Idaho, in the States. Here from Reuters. With no fries sold, Dutch farmers face billion-kilo potato pile. It's because all the restaurants are shut in the lockdown. Look at them all. It's in Belgium. Oh, no, sorry, the Netherlands, that. It's in Belgium as well. Oh, they're in Europe. It's potato planting season, but many Dutch farmers are facing a mountain of a problem with 1 million tons of potatoes left over from last season. Selling his crop to a dairy farmer for €0.01 per kilogram. Oh. These are his bloody chips then. I'm now on the Worldometer Coronavirus Update live page. We've gone past 4 million infected worldwide. It's probably 10 times that. But I've been keeping a close eye on the Diamond Princess cruise ship, which is confined space. They can watch closely all the people that got infected and keep testing them. I thought it was a really good test bed to find out more about the virus. And they reported that 712 people caught the virus on the ship back in January, I think it was, or early February. And they're saying 13's died. We've got 54 active cases, 4 of which are serious or critical. So I'm thinking this is a good test bed for to see what the actual mortality rate is. So you divide that by 7, so 2%. But these figures aren't changing. I keep back checking on this. These 54 active cases have had it since. They've had it for months. Are they dead? And they just don't want people to know that the actual mortality rate is 10%. We're going back January, early February here, and there's 54 people still got it. Something's fishy going on. Meanwhile, here in the UK, here is Dr. John Campbell discussing the total confirmed COVID-19 deaths. These graphs show total accumulated fatalities due to the virus. So either this doctor is extremely religious, or he is expecting the zombie apocalypse to begin at any moment.
Now, having said that, we know that the deaths in the UK, the increase in number is getting less. So we would hope the lockdown measures actually, rather than following on with that trajectory where we are now, we would hope that that would start to level off and fall. That's the hope.
Right, need to start finishing up. Before I go, researchers have discovered a strong correlation between severe vitamin D deficiency and COVID-19 mortality rates. Led by Northwestern University, the research team conducted a statistical analysis of data from hospitals and clinics across China, France, Germany, Italy, Iran, South Korea, Spain, Switzerland, and the UK and the US. The researchers noted that patients from countries with high COVID-19 mortality rates, such as Italy, Spain, and the UK, had lower levels of vitamin D compared to patients in countries that were not as severely affected. This does not mean that everyone, especially those without a known deficiency, needs to start hoarding supplements, the researchers caution. This is very interesting. You get your vitamin D. Your body creates that naturally when you go out in the sunshine. And yet the government's advice is during this lockdown is stay indoors. So everybody's adhering to the rules, not getting the sunshine, not getting the vitamin D. So when they ease the lockdowns, everybody's going to go out and have vitamin D deficiency. It's going to make them more prone to the virus. I've just bought some vitamin D tablets. They're getting as hard to find as bog rolls were a few weeks ago. Need to boost your immune systems, guys. Get out there. It's okay as long as you're in your family groups, you can go out. Just don't get close to other people. Absolutely fine. That's my advice. Go and enjoy the sunshine while you can. Don't let the authorities tell you what to do. As long as you adhere to the social distance and regulations, you're not doing any harm to no one. Also recommend taking a zinc supplement as well. That the metal's supposed to protect you too. Be safe. Safe as you can be. I'm just saying life needn't come to a full stop. I'm not encouraging civil disobedience in any way at all. I'm saying there are ways of looking after yourself and your loved ones, and you do need you've got your right of your own freedom. As long as you're not putting anybody else in danger, then there's no problem. Just remember, never stop smiling. Just put some lippy on that mask. I believe there's a fight going on the planet right now. Not a human conflict, but a battle between hot and cold. Natural negative feedbacks are coming into play as the Earth battles to combat the effects of global warming. The hot places are getting hotter, and yet the cold places are getting colder. And which is going to win out? It's only going to take a couple of degrees to force us back into an ice age and reset the balance. But if that doesn't happen before the Arctic ice cap melts, once that's gone, I'm afraid it's hot house Earth, and good luck to most living things on planet Earth. Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video, because I believe it may contain a vital insight into what is actually going on with the Earth's climate. I think my theory on the universe was correct. So perhaps my theories on the Earth are also correct. I put an awful lot of work into these videos, and hardly anybody watches them. Hey, with your help, I could go more viral than fucking Corona. Until next time, if there is a next time, love to you all. Peace, everybody.